All right, so today we're diving into a championship where it feels like every single match is a final, and that is the Brazilian Championship. You sent us some articles about one team in particular, Flamengo, and their
Yeah.
chances of winning. And let me tell you, their situation is, well, dramatic, to
Yeah.
say the least.
What's really captivating about this is that Flamengo, they're currently sitting in 5th place. And with just a handful of games left, they are mathematically
Yeah.
still in the race, but they're facing a serious uphill battle.
So they're not out of it yet, but it's going to take a near miracle for them to clinch the title.
Exactly. And to really understand the scale of the challenge here, I think it's helpful to quickly break down how the point system works in the Brazilian Championship, because it's really key to all this drama.
Okay, let's hear it. What makes it so different from other leagues?
Well, in the Brazilian Championship, each team plays every other team twice, once at home and once away. This means a whopping 38 games per team in a season. And because of this, the stakes are incredibly high for every single match.
So a single win or loss can really shake things up in the standings then.
Absolutely. Unlike leagues where you might see a few top teams usually dominate, in Brazil, every match is a potential upset. And as back and forth, it creates a level of unpredictability. That's just captivating for fans.
Now that's what I call exciting. Okay, so back to Flamengo. They're in 5th place right now. Can you give us the hard numbers? How many points do they have, and how many do they need to win?
Right now, Flamengo is sitting on 63 points. To even have a theoretical shot at the title, they need to win all their remaining games, which would bring them to a maximum of 74 points.
Okay, sounds good so far, but there's a catch, right?
Oh, there's a big catch. The current leaders, Botafogo and Palmeiras, they're already ahead in the points race. Botafogo has a solid lead at 73 points, and Palmeiras is close behind with 70.
So even if Flamengo wins every single remaining game, they still need both Botafogo and Palmeiras to slip up.
Precisely. And to add to the tension here, Flamengo's chances of pulling this off have dwindled to a minuscule 0.38%. That's about as likely as, well, let's just say.
Yes.
It's not looking good.
Wow, 0.38%. I'm curious. Have there been any historical comebacks in the Brazilian Championship from such a statistically dire position?
It's incredibly rare, to say the least. While upsets happen all the time in this league, a comeback from this far behind, this late in the season, it would be truly historic.
So it's not just about Flamengo winning their remaining games. They also need some serious luck and some major fumbles from their rivals.
That's the reality of their situation. To put it into perspective, for Flamengo to win, Botafogo can only afford to gain a maximum of 2 more points in their remaining matches. That means they'd need at least a couple of draws or even a loss, which, considering their current form, is a tall order.
Okay, so Botafogo needs to stumble. But what about Palmeiras? What needs to happen on their end for this miracle to work?
Palmeiras can't be allowed to exceed 73 points, so they can only win 1 more game and draw the rest, or lose at least once. It's a delicate balance. A lot has to go right for Flamengo.
So, in a nutshell, Flamengo's hopes are hanging by a thread. They need to go on a winning streak, hope their rivals falter, and cross their fingers for a hefty dose of luck.
It's a long shot, that's for sure. But hey, this is the Brazilian Championship. We've seen crazier things happen. And even if Flamengo doesn't win, you know their fight to the finish line. It really embodies the spirit of this unpredictable and exciting league.
You've got that right. Speaking of unpredictable, these articles you provided also mention how the championship lead has changed hands multiple times this season. Let's dive into that a bit. Can you paint a picture of just how wild this season has been?
Oh, absolutely. This season has been a roller coaster from the very start. Like I mentioned, how any team can upset another on any given day. Well, that's played out in a big way this year.
So we're not just talking about minor shifts in the standings, we're talking full-on leadership changes. Give us some examples. Who are the main contenders battling it out?
Well, early on, it looked like Palmeiras might cruise to another title. They were in top form, racking up wins left and right. But then Fortaleza had this incredible run, seemingly coming out of nowhere, and they managed to snatch the top spot for a few weeks.
Wow, Fortaleza. I remember they weren't even considered favorites at the start of the season.
Exactly. That's what makes this league so captivating. Fortaleza's tactical discipline and some clutch performances against top teams completely shifted the narrative. But their reign was short-lived as international, then went on a tear, winning something like 5 matches in a row.
Okay, so first Palmeiras, then Fortaleza, then International. It's like a game of hot potato with the championship lead. Who else got in on the action?
Well, International's momentum eventually slowed down, and Botafogo, who had been quietly building a solid campaign, started to surge, and they haven't looked back since. Their consistency and ability to grind out results have been key to their rise to the top.
That's the thing about the Brazilian championship. You can't just rely on a few star players or a flashy style of play. You need to be able to perform week in and week out against a variety of opponents.
Absolutely. And that's what sets it apart from leagues where a single dominant team can coast to victory. In Brazil, you have to earn every single point, and any slip-up can have major consequences.
This all sounds incredibly exciting. So where does Flamengo fit into this chaotic but captivating journey? The articles you provided mentioned they had a promising start, but then hit some roadblocks. Can you elaborate on that?
Of course, Flamengo entered the season with high expectations. They had a strong squad, a new coach with fresh ideas, and a passionate fan base eager for success. And initially, it seemed like they were living up to the hype.
So what happened? Was it a case of injuries, tactical issues, or just plain bad luck? What derailed their campaign?
It was a combination of factors, really. First, they suffered a couple of unexpected losses early on. These were matches they were favored to win, but they couldn't quite find their rhythm, and their opponents capitalized on their mistakes.
And in a league as tight as the Brazilian Championship, every point dropped is a missed opportunity.
Exactly. And those early stumbles seemed to shake their confidence a bit. They had a few draws where they dominated possession, but couldn't convert their chances into goals.
The classic case of dominating but not capitalizing. It's a frustrating situation for any team, but especially in a league where goal difference can be a deciding factor.
It certainly added to the pressure. And then, as other teams like Botafogo and Palmeiras hit their stride, Flamengo found themselves playing catch-up.
So it wasn't just about Flamengo's struggles, but also the rise of some formidable opponents who seized the opportunity.
Precisely. While Flamengo was grappling with inconsistency, teams like Botafogo were steadily building momentum, demonstrating tactical discipline and a knack for winning, even when they weren't playing their best.
It's almost like Botafogo flew under the radar for a while, quietly racking up points while everyone was focused on the usual suspects.
That's a great way to put it. They were the dark horse that emerged from the pack. Their consistent performances laying the foundation for their current leadership position.
So Flamengo's journey this season has been a story of early promise, unexpected setbacks, and the emergence of some formidable rivals who capitalized on their missteps. It's a reminder that in the Brazilian Championship, every match counts, and any team can seize the moment.
Absolutely. And while Flamengo's chances of winning the title now seem incredibly slim, their season is far from over. They still have a role to play in shaping the final standings and potentially influencing the outcome for other contenders.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've delved into the unique point system, the roller coaster ride of changing leaders, and Flamengo's own challenging journey. But there's still one crucial question that remains. Can Flamengo, against all odds, pull off a miracle comeback?
Yeah, it really is the question on every Flamengo fan's mind right now. And frankly, it's a question that makes this final stretch of the season even more thrilling to watch. Oh, it's definitely a long shot, like we've been discussing. Flamengo needs a perfect storm to happen. They need to win every remaining game, which in itself is a tough ask.
And on top of that,
Yeah,
they need both Botafogo and De Palmeiras to drop points.
precisely. It's a combination of factors that need to align perfectly. It's not just about Flamengo's own performance, but also the performance of their rivals.
Right. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment, though. Some might argue that Flamengo's recent form shows a spark, a hint of that fighting spirit that made them champions in the past. Could that be a factor in these final games?
Well, there's no denying that Flamengo has shown glimpses of brilliance in recent matches. They've tightened up their defense, and their attacking play has been more fluid. But the question is, can they sustain that level of performance under immense pressure?
Because we know the Brazilian Championship is a pressure cooker, especially in these final stages.
Exactly. Every match becomes a must-win, and the weight of expectations can be overwhelming. Even seasoned veterans can crumble under that kind of pressure.
So while we can acknowledge those recent positive signs from Flamengo, it's still a monumental task ahead of them.
It is. And realistically, the odds are stacked against them. But hey, that's the beauty of sport, isn't it? There's always that sliver of hope, that possibility of the improbable.
Yeah, and even if they fall short, their fight to the finish line is a testament to their resilience and the spirit of this amazing league.
Absolutely. And I think this deep dive has really given you a feel for what makes the Brazilian Championship so special. It's a league where passion meets unpredictability, where every match is a battle, and where even the most unlikely scenarios can unfold.
It has been fascinating to explore this with you. We unpacked the point system, we witnessed the dramatic shifts in leadership, and we delved into Flamengo's roller coaster journey. I think our listener now understands why this league captures hearts worldwide.
It's a league that defies expectations and keeps you guessing until the very end. And that's the magic of it.
It is. So as we approach the final whistle of this season, I want to leave our listener with a thought. Even if your team doesn't lift the trophy, the journey itself is a victory. The passion, the drama, the shared moments of joy and heartbreak, that's what makes sport truly unforgettable.
Beautifully put. And for our listener who shared their interest in Flamengo, I hope this deep dive has given you a deeper appreciation for the complexities and beauty of the Brazilian Championship. It's a league where every goal is celebrated like a carnival, where underdogs rise, and where the battle for glory never truly ends.
Until our next deep dive, keep exploring and keep the spirit of discovery alive.